So here's a quick selection of clips we found that were like a minute apiece. But anybody who has a pulse could know someone in real life and it sees all these social media posts that are incredibly heinous about the death of Kirk.
Yeah, well, the thing is like, just before we get started, don't eat Jake. Otherwise, that's a contract that I'll never recover my money on,
Oh
Bob.
shit!
So
My bad. My bad.
yeah, you're not. Yeah, you're not allowed to do that. The himbo in chief is actually doing some travel, and always happy to let him go do his traveling. Had a bunch of podcasts to get on, this type of thing. Always happy for Jake's success. So with that, we'll get into the show here, guys.
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
We think that Charlie Kirk just got in the net. Hey, ooh, ah.
Oh, we should warn people. This is going to be
this is going to enrage
this is
you.
Rage Halls, just so you know.
This is going to enrage you, but you need to watch it.
4 nose or 3 nose piercings. What do you think the odds of them saying anything sane is going to be?
Well, by the way, the last 2 TikTok invasions we did, 2 nights in a row, followed by the one tonight and tomorrow, our success rate on basically exposing that all of these leftists are celebrating this, regardless of the panel we go to or the person we talk to, is about 100%.
Yep.
They're all fucking celebrating this.
Yep.
All of them.
The truth is, like, every person you see publicly celebrating this, there's 10 that aren't saying it on social media, but are actually celebrating. It's time to admit, like, 50. It is true that Charlie Kirk had basically ordinary Republican politics, and they hate him for that. But what's also true is the people you see dancing here, these aren't fringe Democrats. This is the normal Democrat. That's what this is.
Went out for Kirky boy, but I don't waste good beer on little
Charlie Kirk just got put down like a fucking dog in Utah, and I could not be happier.
I will not ever, 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 ever feel bad when bad people get what they deserve.
Keep that energy.
Stoked right now? You want to know why I'm so stoked?
Yeah.
CK.
This fucking guys, even his glasses are retarded.
Got AK. And he's gone.
He did say that gun deaths were an acceptable side effect of gun.
Okay, so she's normal looking. So what do you want to bet she's a school teacher?
I doubt that she's normal looking. So
no,
a
I'm
lot
saying
of these,
no nose piercings, no freaky.
No, I don't know.
Hair.
A lot of these broads will gussy themselves up to get on camera in order to hide their actual grotesque appearance. Just so you know,
fair enough.
You never really know what they actually look like.
By the way, not to get too in the weeds, but this argument that you hear your lefty fucking neighbors and shit celebrating the death of Kirk, that he said a side effect of guns rights were some gun deaths. Yes, the argument is that gun rights are inherent to us for protection against government tyranny. And unfortunately, just like having an automobile and rights to having an automobile will lead to automobile deaths, those are rights that we should have.
Actually, the argument there goes even further. The right to own a pool will lead to drownings.
Yep.
Right? The right to own a can of soup will actually lead to somebody drowning. Not kidding. Someone will pass out in their soup and they'll die. The argument there is stupid. Of course, tangentially, the side effect of people being able to own guns is that some people are going to die by guns. That is going to happen. There's no doubt that is true. But the problem is that that's trivially true about basically everything in existence.
You could say the same. Remember, that's the Second Amendment. What's the First Amendment? Well, your right to freely associate, your right to free speech. Now, isn't it true the fact that we can say what we want will lead to arguments, which could lead to conflict, which could lead to death? So using the transitive property, couldn't I say that this bitch shouldn't have the right to talk because it could aggravate someone and lead to violence?
Of
course not. They would.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It's all about force is what it's about. They just think that you deserve to die. Or if you don't want to die, here's what you can do. Shut up and don't say anything in polite society and give them total power. That's the deal they're offering.
Totally agree.
It doesn't matter anyway, because they don't believe in the rights in the first place. They don't believe in your right to freedom of speech. They only use it for, they just use it.
They believe in the right to have an abortion. That's it.
Right.
The only thing I've ever seen leftists ever advocate for is rights for degeneracy. I've never seen them in any act towards a right that would entail some kind of duty or higher duty. The idea of being able to own firearms in the United States was always intended for the states, in case there was a tyrannical government, being able to quickly arm militias. Get them together, and they thought that the best way to do that was to allow individuals to own firearms, because that way you could pull up the unregulated militia to go with the regulated militia. And so there was a duty which was entailed there once upon a time. And the problem is that any time you have a right that is a degenerate right, those are the ones that they're advocating for, never advocating for more rights that come with any sort of responsibility or duty.
Couldn't agree more. And let's not forget, the argument that they're making here boils down to this: you like guns, so we'll kill you. And in response, you should give up your guns. Give
Yeah.
up your guns because we want to kill you for having guns.
Yes.
That's it. I'm going to
By
say
the way,
no.
by the way, shot him with an old World War II converted surplus rifle that was only a 5-round bolt action.
Hunting
Exactly the prescripted rifle that they say that if people had, these types of gun deaths would not exist. Well, obviously, that was proven wrong in very short order. And it's always been the case that this was wrong. It's always been the case that people have always been able to do significant amounts of damage if they want to, even with bolt action rifles. They know this as well. It's always a gradual step-by-step thing. The semi-automatics, they got to go. The next, they'll never stop. It's not like they take one thing and then stop. Look at what they claimed with gay marriage and gay rights. We just want the gay marriage and that's it. Then all of us gays will be happy, right? That's what they said. But in reality, what happened is the gay agenda led to the trans agenda, and that's the truth.
They always are pushing the envelope one step further. The last debate I had went something like this with someone like this. We need to get rid of high capacity guns. Okay, what's high capacity? Anything more than 5. I said, okay, a traditional revolver has 6 shots. Get rid of that? Yes. Well, also we need to get rid of anything that could do incredible damage at close range. You mean like my 12 gauge?
Yeah. Well, I told a guy who was on one of the gun panels. He said all semi-automatic handguns should be outlawed. And I said, really? Yeah. I said, well, what's a semi-automatic? He said, well, every time you pull the trigger, it goes bang. And I said, like a revolver? Yeah, they don't do that. I said, yeah, they do that. Double action revolvers, which is a modern revolver. Every time you pull the trigger, it goes bang, you fucking idiot. They don't know anything. Anyway, back to this, guys.
Gun rights.
Fuck your homie dead. Fuck your homie dead. Fuck your homie dead. Most of the ass got hit in the head. Fuck your homie dead.
Future scholar, astronaut.
She's going to help us get to the moon again.
No, but she will be a political pundit in the future.
Yeah, probably.
All the white people at work keep saying my hair looks good. I'm scared. Everybody keeps threatening to dox me, but I have yet to see any of my information, any of my anything posted anywhere.
What a stupid fucking idiot. What a fucking idiot. Imagine giving the internet a challenge like that.
Stupid. Yeah. Stupid. This guy's name's Bob Vylan. He's like a wannabe rapper out of the UK. The UK, I remind you, where if you put a meme about a trans person, you'll go to jail. A comedian was just arrested there. Let's hear what the erudite Bob Vylan has to say about Charlie Kirk at a concert.
Take this next one to an absolute piece of shit of a human being. The pronouns was, were.
That's our joke, by the way. Fucking stealing our bits.
Cause if you chat shit, you will get banned. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, you piece of shit. Oh shit.
Here he is.
Yo, real quick. At no point during yesterday's show was Charlie Kirk's death celebrated. At no point whatsoever did we celebrate Charlie Kirk's death.
So just lying right through his
call him a
fucking
piece of
teeth.
shit,
Imagine the over-the-top lies immediate lives. At no point were we celebrating during the show Charlie Kirk's death, followed by somebody, of course, in the audience with a camera, perhaps even maybe his own crew who took this video, right? It looked kind of high res. It could have easily have been from his own crew, pointing out that not only was he celebrating, he was dancing about it. They were dancing about, like, how much more celebratory could they get? The only thing that was missing was him pounding a fucking beer with the audience. I mean, give me a fucking break, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, what this is he needs to post talk like, oh, I'm sorry, in our country, you could be arrested for this shit. He has to give the most farcical gaslighting explanation. That way, when the UK government decides not to charge him, they could say, well, see, he said he wasn't celebrating. These people, as you said on Piers Morgan today, these people will look you right in the eye, they'll smile at you, they'll shake your hand, and they want you dead. That's who this guy is. He's lying through his teeth. And why wouldn't he lie? He's a guy that wants Charlie Kirk dead. Do you think he's beyond lying once he shows that he's capable of that sort of heinous attitude? Of course not.
Well, I mean, it's atrocious. It's not only atrocious, but this is part of the attempted gaslighting we constantly are talking about by leftists. Where they look you dead in the face and they're like, I didn't do the thing you just watched me do. I didn't do that. You did that. That's you guys who are doing that. You guys, you're the ones who are dancing on the graves of it. It's like, what are you talking about? And they just look at you with these dead, stone cold dead eyes and lie to your face. Oh, no, that is a woman. No. It is all about just our civil rights. Like, at what point are we got to just stop believing at this point that these are even good faith interlocutors? These are completely bad faith, dead eyed pieces of human fucking garbage.
But at no point was his death celebrated.
Yeah, right. Okay.
If it was, go find me a quote.
Okay.
He's a piece of shit. And remember, if you do talk shit, you will get banged. How about that?
That's what he said.
Yeah, literally.
That's literally what he said. If you talk shit, you'll get banged. What a fucking scumbag.
While making a sideways gun sign with his hand.
Yep. Go find me something that proves that we were celebrating his death.
Okay, well, we just showed it.
Did he just go source, please?
Yeah, he just
source.
Can I get a source? Can I get a source? Here's the source. And he's like,
you're not going to find.
This was taken completely out of context. I know that we were singing and dancing about this, and that I was literally on stage dancing around about this after I said, you talk shit, you get popped. Guys, you really took this out of context, though. Don't you think, Rob, that Mr. E's taking this out of context? Because Mr. E's it's just because he's racist, right?
Well,
because he's racist.
We know the last time we were on here, the script that Mr. E gave us, and I have to admit, like, it did feel a little off. There was something going on there.
It did a little bit, yes.
Yeah, fuck it. We bought.
What did happen is one reporter that bought their ticket online came with the sole purpose of finding something to report, and after I called him a piece of shit and we played a song, they have written that up as a celebration.
The limey I can't do an accent. The limey bastard fish and chips and lying about me, oi mate. Fuck you, right? Like, it's what the arrogance of just the absolute certainty that he's not going to face any consequences. Again, I remind you, in our country, he could have said that shit and the law wouldn't go after him. But not in his country. If you're in his country and you say, like, I have a problem with grooming gangs attacking our children, I have a problem, your ass goes to jail. But not this guy. This guy, by the way, just a couple weeks ago, he did a performance where he was talking about possibly ending people over the Palestinian conflict. No consequences there. He knows it. Every one of us know it. We know that there's a two-tier system, both in the UK and the United States. Hopefully the culture is starting to swing back here in the United States.
Oh, look who sounds racist now, Robbo. You want this black guy to be held accountable for his actions?
And in jail, Rob?
Racist. I didn't say not in my country, in his country.
No, in his country, if the law is applied equally to him as it is to Tommy Robinson and many others who are accused. Count Dankula, didn't Count Dankula actually get jail time because his fucking pug? Because did he get jail time for that? I don't remember. Mystery, do you remember if he got actual jail time or not?
Looking it up right now.
I don't think he did. I think he may have been put in a holding facility. And
but they were threatening him with it at the very least.
He had to go to trial.
Yeah.
And
no, he got a $1,700 fine after being convicted of posting a video of his dog performing a Nazi salute.
His dog.
Deemed grossly offensive under the UK's
That's grossly offensive.
By the way, rest in peace to his dog that just died recently, which is sad. It was a funny joke, and I'm a big fan of Dankula. So
To be fair, he did face a potential sentence of up to 6 months in jail, but the judge considered his clean record and low risk of offending.
That was awful kind of that judge.
Yeah,
thanks,
awful kind.
Judge. Yeah.
So he fined him instead of imprisoning him.
Yeah, that was awful kind of that judge. He's like, well, considering you've never done anything wrong and the fact that this obvious bit offended some people, I'm just going to let you get off with a money sentence. So they're fucking pieces of shit, man.
Yeah.
Not a celebration, isn't a celebration, wasn't a celebration.
You, sir, are a liar.
Is what it is,
calm
isn't
down.
it?
Calm down.
Now, wait, no, right there. Two things. One is visa got revoked from Marco Rubio, so you can't come back to the United States. Good for that. Secondly, that line right there, this is some Saul Alinsky shit, right? We're going to get to a particular character that you debated today here later in the show, Andrew, but this is Saul Alinsky shit where the reaction is the action. So the left will do something. They're like, oh, sorry about that. Your husband just got his head blown off, you bitch. And then when you're like, you motherfucker, they're like, look at how hateful you are. Oh my goodness. I can't believe. Can you believe how angry Charlie Kirk's wife is? Right there where he's like, you need to calm down. They're celebrating the murder of a good Christian man. And then when you're like, you motherfucker, they're like, calm down. It's infuriating.
How dare you and call me a motherfucker?
Nice place. You don't care much about these fascists, do you?
No. Let me explain that clip. That's Bethesda that created the Skyrim game. That's from their Indiana Jones game they just put out. One of the biggest gaming studios in the world. Now, there's tons of people in the tech industry, Blizzard Entertainment, a bunch of other AAA gaming studios that constantly were seeing their Discords come out the past 3 days celebrating the death of Kirk. There was one person at Bethesda that people were pointing out celebrating it. And so today or yesterday, Bethesda's official account, that's what that is on X, put this out and says, good kitty, that's saying, you don't like fascists, do you? Which is their way of saying Kirk had it coming.
Well, look at the time and date that they posted it.
Yep. So, I mean, you can see, right? Like, again, it's these, they're pissed off that you called them out. So when they blatantly said, we're happy he's dead. So now they'll just do little, well, I wonder what we mean by that. It's repugnant. At least stand behind the courage of your convictions and tell us how you really feel. You know, so, hey, just when you're making decisions on how to spend your dollars, when that new, Oblivion game or whatever the hell they're called, Elder Scrolls games come out, just know that that's what that studio thinks of you.
You don't play the Elder Scrolls, you fucking boomer.
I mean, I played Skyrim, but that shit, we've been waiting for the follow-up for what, like 11 years now?
They just remade Oblivion. You didn't play that?
No.
I got shit going on. I got food to eat and shit. I don't have time for video games.
That's fair.
So much.
Don't watch that again.
And to Dean and Parker, thank you so much for reminding us that you are still white. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, when push comes to shove, you're still white. I hope all of my fellow
Can we
brothers
start?
and
Can
sisters
we
of the
just start by
community
asking
can truly
how
see this?
like how is that actually offensive? It's like, I don't know how that's I don't know how that part's offensive.
I was gonna ask, what does this mean? Like, what does she mean by that?
Well, she means that because they both came out and were crying about Charlie Kirk, even though I think that was very disingenuous on their behalf. That they're going to stick behind him, of course, because he's white, right? That's what her point is. In case you were wondering.
Brilliant.
This is how stupid these fucking lefties are, right? Sorry, I'm swearing a little more today. I'm a little on edge. This is how dumb they are, right? Like,
this is a fucking family-friendly show, Rob. What the?
But they're so dumb because they don't realize if they would achieve their goal of getting rid of people like us, it's just going to be the white guy lefties that are next. And then after that, it'll be the black men or this men. It'll never end, right? The sort of cultural Marxist aggrieved identity politics, there's always the next group to go after. And so now Dean and Parker, what they're realizing, I hope you guys are happy. Not only did you happily make your bed with a bunch of lunatics that want their opposition killed, but guess what? You'll be next man up once us are taken out, if that's what these people could be able to achieve. So congratulations, Dean and Parker. I hope you're enjoying it.
For exactly what it is.
I said what I said. Have you all watched all the videos? This is really creepy, and I would put money on it. The vice president
Bitch, you
of
look
the United
insane.
States of America and his wife accompanied her through everything. What? They literally didn't attend a 9/11 event to go with her, to pick up the remains and everything. Then she stands in front of a camera, and y'all go watch this video. It's broken down very clearly. A very bizarre setting where she's made to look like this angelic martyr and proceeds to make the most bizarre speech I've ever heard. Serena Joy. She would wipe tears that weren't even there. Like, girl, this could have just been an episode of Snapped. Why do you have to do all this? This is wild. It's hard to watch.
Oh my God, these fucking people. These fucking people. By the way, this woman is in one of the heaviest stages of grief a person can imagine. Now, this isn't even, I would give a person a pass on this, regardless of the circumstances in which their spouse had passed. But this was so outrageously egregious and horrific and unexpected that the shock for this particular woman probably hasn't been felt by anybody since JFK, right? Probably hasn't
Yeah.
been felt by anybody since
Yeah.
JFK, and it's like
It happened
well,
right in front of her.
yeah, we don't know exactly what the response to that is supposed to look like. How do you predict what the response to that is supposed to be?
I won't say anything for that clip or the next two other than to say this. To attack this grieving woman right now, and it's all over the place, is one of the most infuriating things I've ever seen in my life. And that's all I have to say. I won't say anything.
You got it. Sometimes you got to bite your tongue.
But what about his kids and his wife? Fuck them.
Bald
She knew
atheist.
exactly what she was marrying when she married him. She's not innocent at all. And those kids will have more money than you and I will ever see in a lifetime. They're never going to be hurting.
Spiteful
So
mutants,
wah,
every single one of these
fucking
people.
wah.
Greedy, spiteful mutant.
You want to play the, oh, loving father didn't deserve that. Poor kids.
Another insane bitch with a ton of piercings.
I actually genuinely believe that Charlie Kirk's children, especially his daughter, would have been in more danger had his life continued on. Because he literally said, quote, that if his daughter got he would force her to carry the baby to term, give birth to it, and raise it.
Yeah, but
Does that
so
sound like someone?
Sorry.
that sounds like someone who's logically consistent with the view that a baby is a life. That's what that sounds like to me. So if your view is that life begins at conception, then this is what I don't understand is that the logical entailment there is that even if a horrific thing happens to a person, that you don't then get to kill somebody else due to the horrific thing. That's no fault to the child. They're the ones who are actually have the demonic view that, oh, as long as the conditionals were horrible enough, then you can hurt people and it's fine. That's the fucking insane view, not Kirk's view. Kirk's view was the consistent view.
They know it, and they can't argue that it's not a life at conception or even that it's not a life after a certain period of weeks. And so they just say, but the conception was tragic, therefore we could end this life.
Right.
There's no reason that that wouldn't apply even after birth. If a woman is chained up and tragically is assaulted like that and is forced to give birth, and then she says afterwards, well, my conscience is that that child reminds me of that horrific accident, be gone with it. I want that child's life ended. What's the limiting principle based on their ideology? They have none.
Well,
They
does
can't
this
argue
woman look like the type of woman who has her emotions under control? Or perhaps does she make a many spontaneous decisions, which she probably regrets in life, like full body tattoos, piercings, and likely OnlyFans, right? Like they all have the same look. The dead-eyed skank look. It's universalized at this point.
That's what I was going to say. Exactly. Like just memorize this face, boys, because these dead eyes just run the other direction.
Who should have kids to you? or someone who we should be calling CPS on.
And of course,
His
occult
kids are
symbolism
1
all over her
and
body.
3, by the way, so the likelihood of them remembering this is like 0.
Oh, is the likelihood of the daughter remembering it isn't that high anyway. You know, sometimes in order to make an omelet, Rob, you got to break a few eggs.
So I put these together in order of like enraging. And so that was now going after the kids, going after the wife. Now we're going after the memorials and the vigils. Now we're seeing. Now, Now, if you don't know, Bella Ciao was one of the things that was written on one of the bullets. That's an Antifa song. This was a song that was famous to be sort of this protest song against fascist, I believe, in Italy. And Antifa sects use this song all the time. And so what this guy's doing is these are counter protesters that are showing up to the vigil, and they're harassing the people that are trying to peacefully remember a good Christ-like man in Charlie Kirk.
I don't want your salvations.
Why?
I want you to fucking die. We're not gonna give you a second chance, even when you beg for it on your knees, begging and pleading.
That's at a Kirk
I believe
vigil.
him. Yeah, I believe him.
Yeah,
And the
what
rest
point-
of you should too.
That's it. At what point do we take them seriously? Take them at their word?
Well, isn't it one of the famous lefties that said, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them?
Yep.
Yeah, but can we talk about that chord progression?
Stole
I
it.
mean, can we talk about that chord progression? I feel like what I got right with You're Fat was that, you know, the chord progression was the correct chord progression to really make something like that stick. Like, you know, why do these people have to be pristinely evil but pristinely untalented at the same time? Can't you at least give us something? Like the mentally ill Hollywood lunatics, at least they give us some entertainment. These fucking people don't even give us that.
Yep.
Homie dead. Fuck your homie dead. Fuck your homie dead. He got in the head. Fuck your homie dead.
Now, this one is a little bit impressive because that woman can get her feet off the ground, and that does surprise me. It is shocking to me. She's very spry for a woman of her muscle mass. So it's this one is impressive in a way.
And you got to give it to the people that constructed these buildings. Clearly put together very well that there wasn't anything that showed up on the Richter scale there that could have demolished.
Well, those buildings have been earthquake proof probably for years, Rob.
Well done. Very smart.
Yeah,
They
very
thought
well
ahead.
done,
So,
yeah.
Saying this. Evil is real, people, and it kind of looks like that. Evil. Evil. Murder is bad. She is evil. Have not said. Why are you being so hateful?
Did she try to say you make racist remarks against
Yeah,
her?
so you say
Fucking
evil looks
hell,
like this.
man.
Then the first thing she says is, why? Because I'm black? No, you stupid bitch. Because the things that are coming out of your mouth are fucking evil.
Now, this one has a happy ending, though. So
Why are you so hateful? Why are you so hateful? Yeah.
Hey, can somebody tell her to back up?
Can you
please?
not
She's
put the camera in my face?
I'm sitting here. You walked up to me.
Okay, well, I can
I don't
do
want
this
this. I said rest in peace.
Okay, and I can do
Just
this
leave it
too.
alone. Please don't come after
Ma'am,
me.
you've been
I want to be
being
left
emotional.
alone.
I'm not emotional, ma'am. Don't tell me what I am and what I'm not. You can get out of my face because I could tell you what you are, but you won't like it.
You're
I
being
walked in 10
aggressive.
minutes ago,
You're
and
being
you were
aggressive.
emotional. I'm not being aggressive. My voice
You
is
are
very
being
calm. You're calling me
aggressive.
aggressive because I'm a black woman.
Not at all.
No, we're not. I'm very.
Oh, that woman, I believe, was arrested and kicked off of campus. She's been expelled. So, well done.
See you later, stupid.
Yep. It's a memorial for Kirk. Now, this one's particularly egregious. You'll see why at the end. Yeah. Well done to those patriots.
I guess it wasn't very funny after all, was it?
Now, I guess when you watch hours upon hours of this shit, you pick up on little things. So I'll show you something at the end here. So he's being arrested. Good. And then watch when they turn him around. Maybe. I think it's coming here. The very end of the clip, you'll notice what he's wearing. Now, again, this was a memorial for a man who was just assassinated, and they're destroying it. That shirt is
Yeah.
the exact same shirt that the assassin wore.
Yep, it is. Yep.
Now, you don't think that they're sending a signal?
Unbelievable. Yeah, well, there's no dog whistles here, though. Nothing like that going on.
Yeah. Well, and he's not as good looking as Mangione, so will be less inspirational for people. Tell me I'm wrong, Am.
I don't see any Hawaiian.
By the way, this moves into two different phenomenon at the same time. One, that it's only one sex who, for reasons nobody can actually identify, has been able to successfully identify. There's a phenomenon where dangerous serial killers and this and that become the obsessed over by many, many women. In this case, of course, the thing that she's thinking in her head, oh, this guy, this assassin brutally murdered another man, right? Okay, so now my ovaries are ready for his seed. But he's not as handsome as this other assassin. So I guess I'll wait for the other assassin to impress. These people are fucking sick psychopaths, by the way. Sick psychopaths.
Yeah. So a little palate cleanser. This next one, it's a little more of a happy story. So
I was just fired from my job.
So I've lost my job. I got called into the office yesterday, and told me that they could either fire me or I could put a resignation in.
she sounds so articulate.
But that would look better. But they fired me, or they're getting rid of me because of my TikTok. Somebody screenshot a lot of my TikToks, and
so your TikTok was full of hate.
Yep.
Lovely.
I made some stupid comments about Charlie Kirk on the day that he was shot. I said some things on Blue Sky and on Threads.
Cameraman.
That I'm sorry, not sorry for, but I said them.
So you're not sorry for them.
And I deleted them when it was requested that I do so by my employer. And then today, on a weekend, I'm told that
For the record, they did it on the weekend so that he didn't shoot anybody up on
That's
Friday.
Right. I didn't come in and on a Friday like a lunatic. And not just that, let's point out that this is really one of the first times that leftists, at least in my lifetime, I can't recall this ever happening before, Rob, but it's the first time that I can think of where there has been enough public outrage where individual leftist supporters of the fucking insanity are feeling the wrath, not from the government, the fascistic government that they're so against, right? But rather they're feeling the effects from Main Street America and from the corporations that they work for finally, due to public pressure that's never actually happened to them before. And so collectively now they're beginning to freak out, even though it was conservatives who explained to them that if they move down the cancel culture, and by the way, this isn't even cancel culture. Cancel culture was these fuckers going back 10 years to find some tweet that you did or said in order to get you depersoned, debanked, and have your entire livelihood stolen from you, regardless of context. That was what cancel culture was. This is these people within a few hours of a man getting horrifically murdered, going public about how great it was. Huge distinction here. Huge distinction. You're muted, Rob.
I'm no longer employed at Microsoft.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Sorry about that. Tech issues here. Here's the thing, right? They surely are shocked because this is the first time it happened. In their world, this is what's happened. And it's partially our fault. It's partially because of our moral cowardice. How many times have we been at some family event, we've been at some wedding, and some big mouth lefty starts shouting about politics, and we don't want to make a big scene, so we just go, whatever, and we walk away. And so they think because all of this has been going on in society, this is all the entertainment's been pushing these garbage left politics, all of our mainstream media, all of the social media people, etc. Now they're shocked to find out, you know what? People are disgusted by this shit. But you want to know what the worst part is? This dude's not reflecting on like, oh my goodness, what
He's
did
sorry,
I say?
not sorry.
Well, not only that, Not only that, but you know what he's thinking right now when he sees millions of people rise up and be offended at this? He's not thinking, maybe I did something wrong. You know what he's thinking? Oh my God, there are more fascists in this country than I could have imagined.
Yep.
Every vigil they see, they're like, look at those fascists, look at those Nazis. And so it's not going to get any better. It's not. It's going to get worse because now they're just going to go underground. They're going to say they still harbor these thoughts. And for every one person you heard say this, there were 10 people that were thinking it.
Somebody said that this one was actually satire and this guy's a comedian.
Oh, well, shit.
So
My mistake.
that might be an F for you, Rob. But in any case, well, then go ahead and skip past this one. There's still tons of them.
6 years.
Then, I mean, he did a good job then if he's a satirist, right?
I hope that nose ring was fake.
I don't deserve a job.
I mean, if it was satire, it was really good, really convincing.
Yeah.
Fired from my fucking job. I was just fired from my job. I was just fired from my job. I was just fired from my fucking job. I was just fired from my fucking job. Now I have nothing but this.
This boy in knee highs who's panicking certainly seems very real.
True.
Even if it's satire, it's making me feel better.
I have nothing anymore. I have nothing. I have nothing anymore. I have nothing anymore. I have nothing anymore. I have nothing anymore.
Be a man and put your fist through the drywall. You know what I mean?
Let's not misgender people here.
Just
Come
like
on now.
shaking.
Yeah, let's get to the
around.
let's get to the second half here.
Here we go. This is the good shit.
Pulling it up now.
This might be a guy you all know of that our good friend Andrew debated here today on Piers Morgan. So here we go. Destiny, what do you think?
About the crime statistics? Not exactly like.
You need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events so that they look to their leadership to turn down the temperature. The issue is right now, they don't feel like there's any fear. Like, I don't know. It's like memes. It's just memes to everybody, I guess. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't care. I'm playing video games. Okay, I'm done today. I don't give a fuck. God, it's gonna be so fucking gay if I get killed in the next fucking 2 months of shit I'm doing. Well, the cuck shit out here. Please don't anybody make any actual fucking, the most cucked, weak-ass, fucking bullshit-ass speeches on my side. God, if it happens, holy shit, I'm gonna make a death note before I go out to go live and not. God, it's so cucked. It's so optics cucked.
Now, can we imagine any situation in which Destiny uses the word cuck unironically?
I mean, he is an expert.
How is it even possible that this guy can use the word cucked unironically? A dude who was in an open relationship where people were banging his broad, his wife, no less. And he was for it. He was like, I don't know, like, you know, he did stuff with her after he got off on the shit. How can this guy ever use the word cucked unironically? That blows my mind. But on top of that, let's just point out the obvious, which is that he is reveling in this, and most of them are reveling in this. And they just are pretending that they're not, when clearly they are. And how many of these people have we shown on TikTok reveling in this? They adore it. And what did he say? He finally actually accidentally told the truth. You know what? Conservatives aren't going to take this seriously unless they are afraid of us. How, if that's not a call to more violence, what the fuck is?
Most of the DoD definition of terrorism has to do with violence or threats led to intimidation for political reasons. This is a man saying that he wants all conservatives to fear for their life when they're in public spaces. Now, here's the thing. Thank God. Look, you happen to stomp on the one person that's like, oh, Destiny, that comment. Because the rest of these comment you see like, yes, if you really want a fun read, head over to Destiny's Reddit and see what his young, impressionable male audience has to think about this sort of stuff. Because when it happens...
Transitioning male audience.
Oh, I'm sorry. But like, he's definitely gaslighting him. What they're hearing right now is, oh, so it's a good thing that Charlie Kirk got killed because that'll make them more fearful. That's good. And for this guy to then go in places like Piers Morgan and, you know, thank God you held his feet to the fire, which I hope people watch, right? And claim like, oh, you know, it's no big deal. It's all Trump. It's all Trump. It's all Trump. These people legitimately think that you deserve to be killed and they will celebrate it. The only difference is Destiny's just a tinge smarter when he's not unhinged to know that he can't just directly say that. But there is no longer a doubt in my mind that that's what he really believes. He said that the best place for that bullet, the regret was, the worst thing was that the bullet didn't get Trump. That's what he said previously. He's made joke after joke about Trump supporters dying and all of these other
He
conservatives
said the
dying.
guy in the audience deserved it for being
Yes. And now he's coming right out and saying, and good, you should all fear for your life to go in public. That's intimidation, threatening violence and intimidation. And yet he's the golden boy. This is the guy that CNN had on a few weeks ago or a month or so ago. This is the guy that was going to be one of the left's answers to Joe Rogan, who's talking to Democratic politicians, that's working with progressive PACs. J.D. Vance gave one of the most powerful speeches in the history of my life in this country just today on Charlie Kirk's Rumble show. And one of the things he said was, we're going to find out where the organization and the money is coming from to inspire so many of these people to keep to do acts of violence.
Well, and amazingly enough, Steven over here said, yeah, well, you do know where your bread is buttered to Pierce Morgan, right? Insinuating that these guys are receiving money for their takes from organizations which have some sort of vested interest in that particular political dialogue. Not, of course, admitting that he himself has taken how much fucking money from various DNC organizations, including, if I remember correctly, Progressive Victory. Isn't that right, Rob?
That's exactly right. And again, it's just everything this guy says. It's just he completely justifies what he wants to do by saying there's someone else doing. Do you think Destiny, when he was a streamer back in 2012, 2013, and we saw conservatives being beaten and chased off of campus, do you think he said, well, my side needs to turn down the rhetoric? Of course not. Of course he didn't say it. He's excusing, he wants the violence, he wants the intimidation, and so he deflects to this false equivalency of, oh, but it's all about Trump, it's all about Trump, it's all about Trump. No, he wants this. This is what he wants. And there's nothing that Trump could say that would mean that he wouldn't justify saying that conservatives deserve this fate. And everyone, this is exactly what you were talking about, Andrew, when you said that picture of Charlie Kirk that's talking to the president of the Oxford Student Union debating, and he's smiling and shaking Kirk's hand probably before the debate. And deep in his eyes, as he's looking Kirk right in the eyes, he's thinking, I want you dead. That's Destiny. Every time we debate him and talk to him, that's what he's thinking about us. And we shouldn't have to put up with it any longer.
Agreed.
All right.
Kirk show. Of hosting the Charlie Kirk show. Please join me as I pay tribute to my friend.
He's talking about J.D. Vance.
Yeah.
I would never just. I can't even say this joke, I think, because I will get FBI'd. What? Do you, like, if the no violence, never. Fuck, I can't even make the joke. Wait, hold on, I'm typing this in DGG. This is a good joke. Hold on, let me torch over.
Hang on, that's a ad roll.
Yeah, it seems that all of these people that hold these disgusting beliefs are all heavily medicated as well. Interesting correlation.
That's way too edgy, right? I think that's way too much. There's no way.
For those that missed it, what he wrote there to his audience was he'll be watching J.D. Vance do Charlie Kirk's show from 150 yards away, implying that it would be sort of in range of a rifle,
right.
Is what he was saying. I don't know what more to say. On my feed, I know you know this too, Andrew. You could bring up dozens of examples of this sort of shit. When Teslas were being attacked, he said it was based, that there was a post that said Tesla owners had like 5 days or something before they were going to be targeted. Based, he said. He's talked about this shit over and over again. The only thing I'll say at this point, and I'll be very careful about saying this, but I guess Destiny's happy to talk about something like this to distract for his impending court cases, including some heinous non-consent and other thing acts. So I guess this is a nice distraction from that. But he's truly a disgusting person. But this isn't the fringe left.
And what does he do? He says anything to distract from the Epstein stuff is what he claims Trump is doing. It's ironic. On multiple levels, of course. One of the larger hypocrites who's ever graced these platforms would be Stephen Bunnell II. So, or third. Is it the second or third? I don't even know. But anyway, back to this, because this is not these are not isolated incidences of these guys. They have gone out of their way, these major influencers. And by the way, they were at the head of all the deplatforming. Don't let any of these fuckers pretend that they're outraged about deplatforming. They don't give a shit. They were at the head of most of the deplatforming campaigns. Destiny and DGG flagged multitudes of channels when Fuentes was banned on social media. They were celebrating it all over the place. Give me a fucking break. These people don't care about deplatforming. They've never cared about deplatforming. They're not ever going to care about deplatforming, nor do they give a shit at all about depersoning, debanking, and creating people who just aren't humans. They even call them subhumans.
Here's the other left's darling. These are the two biggest lefty streamers. This is not fringe. This is who the Democratic Party is.
Guy has the understanding of foreign policy of like a 12-year-old. What the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with this dude? Didn't he go to war and like literally lose his eye because some mujahideen, a brave fucking soldier, fucked his eye hole with their? Isn't that how he lost his fucking dumbass eye? Because he got his fucking eye hole fucked? America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying.
He was interviewed front page New York Times the other day after Kirk's death. Right there, it's on. Here's
not hateful. It's not hateful, bro.
Oh, if you thought that was good.
Kill them. Kill those motherfuckers and murder those motherfuckers in the street. Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods, dude.
Now, this is the biggest politics streamer on Twitch, where he's friends with one of the top people at Twitch. I got banned the other day for 30 days on Twitch because I brought in a left-wing streamer that called me a homophobic slur 12 times. That streamer got a 7-day ban. I got a 30-day ban, even though I didn't say the word. Meanwhile, Hassan, on almost a daily basis, is calling for actual violence, and there he is.
Oh, and by the way, Rob, can you tell us, what community did Hassan Piker come out of?
Well, I do believe he is the nephew and came out of the, well, he's the nephew of the Young Turks, but he came out, just like Vosh, of the Destiny community.
No kidding. He came out of the Destiny community, this guy did, along with Vosh and many of these other big left-wing streamers, inspired by the Coomer Gremlin himself. But you see, he wasn't even radical enough for them. They have to make their message just a little bit more edgy. Vosh, when he's not talking about horse going inside of him and getting caught with lowly, is also making the same type of rhetorical attacks on people. And here's Hassan Piker, does the exact same thing. These people all come from the same fucking poisonous well. And by the way, they all get huge amounts of funding from private organizations and NGOs, which are all linked to the Democrat Party. All of them.
I just want to say, juxtapose them compared to us streamers on the right. We're not calling for violence. As despicable as we find these people are, we're not calling for violence or anything like that. And you can see what we and what Charlie Kirk stood for. We're telling people to go to church, to righteously stand up to these people, not cause to violence. So a couple videos here. This next one is someone that was inspired by Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, and on more of a positive note.
You know, I don't come from any kind of money, and I've never owned a suit before. My wife, she bought me this suit. Our anniversary's coming up, and we have a nice anniversary plan. You know, we make a little bit of money now, and I'm proud to say that because that's certainly not where either one of us comes from. And I feel good in this suit, man. And I just want my wife to know she made me feel good. It's a $300 suit. I ain't never had nothing like this before in my life. And I tell you what, okay, video flip here, so I'm gonna lose some of you. I didn't know Charlie Kirk, never met that guy before in my life. And something else that I've never done before in my life is believe in God. I'm gonna wear this suit to church. I'm gonna go to church. I'm going to try to be a better father, husband, and leader for my family. They deserve that. My phone fell down. I guess that's the devil trying to fuck me up or mess me up right now. I'm gonna try, y'all. Look at this suit. I look good, bro. My wife made me feel this way. Charlie's made me feel this way. Yeah. Message over.
So, in his own way, what he's trying to convey there, which is it's pretty heartwarming, is like, look, maybe out of this horrific tragedy, just remember that not all of this ends up being horrible and evil. And you always remember the message, and this is powerful proof of this message, that the things which Satan uses for evil, God will use for good.
You know how many more people went to church? I went to church for the first time in 22 years, Sunday, and I will be going every Sunday. And I hope that that's the sort of stuff that we do, that we bring this nation back to God, and that's what Charlie represented. Now, you juxtapose that to those two left-wing clowns we just saw streaming, the big, like, left-wing versions of Charlie Kirk, though they can't hold a candle to the man. And what does their audience believe? What do they represent? It couldn't be a more stark difference between good and evil.
Yeah, agreed.
This is Britain. Tommy Robinson, God bless him, leading a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. And then it ends with this.
And remember this, to those of you in the audience too, that we get embroiled often in American politics and forget that there's a global phenomenon of the poison of leftism, feminism, and Marxism, and that right now the British people are in a war for their very existence and survival against this, due to the fact that their own leadership sold the public out even after they voted in Brexit, and have demanded time and time again to have a halt on immigration policy into their nation. And they're tired of being ignored, and they're tired of their wives and daughters being by these insane people who are being imported into their nation in order to make my GDP look good. Right now, that's a freedom fight that's happening there, which I very much support. And this on the eve of what happened to Charlie Kirk, never think that all of this is not relational. Even if it's the case that you don't understand how the pulse in one area affects the pulse of another, it's all relational. And it's something to pay very close attention to in the future.
This is the White House tribute to Charlie Kirk.
America, is it possible to say, you know what, I don't like the way the country is going, and to do something about it? Take that risk. Take that leap of faith. Stay involved. Trust God and act obediently. Romans 12:2 verse. That God will use all things, for good for those who love him. It's bigger than you. I want you to remember that. It is bigger than you. It's bigger than me. You are here to make somebody else's life better, the pursuit of liberty and freedom. You know what gives me strength? The hundreds of thousands of you that say, Charlie, keep going.
1 Corinthians 5 and 15. So that's all pretty amazing evidence, not just intra-biblical evidence, but extra-biblical evidence that Jesus Christ was a real person. He lived a perfect life. He was crucified, died, and rose on the third day, and he is Lord and God of all.
Very powerful. I understand that that's a very emotional video for many, but you should focus on the message. One thing Fuentes, I think, got correct when he was giving his kind of breakdown on what was going on with Charlie Kirk. He was murdered primarily for his belief in Jesus Christ, and never think for a second that that was not the case. He was murdered primarily. This often happens to Christians. Why? Why was that the primary reason? For those of you who are naysayers, because his entire worldview is filtered through that prism. That's how he viewed the world, was through Christian ethics. So if it's the case that you're murdered for your view and your worldview is Christian ethics, then you're being murdered for your belief and faith in Jesus Christ. That is what's happening. It's just a very easy, logical breakdown. And that's exactly what happened to Kirk. He was murdered horrifically for his faith in Jesus Christ. That's what informed his viewpoint and messaging and Christian ethics that he was disseminating. That's what this bastard killed him for, and anybody else potentially who's connected with that.
I just want you to think about that, what you just saw there in this picture. And then go back, watch this episode again, and go back to the first 40 minutes of it and watch what those lefties were saying. Watch what they're doing, insulting those children, that wife, and that man. And if that doesn't show you what this is, and if you're, I don't care at this point, I don't even care if you're someone that's like, well, I have more liberal minded economic policies and things like that. How could you stand with this evil? Again, I'm not suggesting that anything such as violence is necessary. We as a society need to stand up, proclaim belief in Christ, and get back to the family unit and family values and what the things were that Charlie stood for, and stand up to these evil people that have inundated almost every institution in this country.
Well, why is it that, and by the way, these sick fuckers, they do it to me too, and they'll do it to you too, Rob.
Yep.
They often attack you through your children, through innuendo through your children, through your wife, things like this. With Kirk no longer here to be able to be attacked, of course, they're going to viciously continue to try to torture this man's soul by attacking his wife and kids. And I guarantee you that that's not going to stop. And they'll do it under the guise of satire, when we're kind of past the idea of satire here. This is no longer satire that they're playing into. I understand edgy jokes. I love jokes. I think that I love comedy. There's not very much which is offensive to me. This, to me, ultimately isn't even offensive. It's beyond that.
Yep.
The idea here is not offended. The idea here is that I can clearly see that you have a worldview ideology, which tells me that you want to fucking kill me.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty simple.
Yep.
That you
And
want to fucking kill us. That's what you want to do.
We got one more clip here that summarizes your thoughts exactly.
This is you. This is your sister, your wife, your daughter. But this right here is you. This is your sister, your wife, your daughter. This is you. This is your sister, your wife, your daughter. But this is you. And this is their reaction when you are killed. This is the joy they feel when your sister is raped, when your children are castrated, brainwashed to hate you. This is their ecstasy when the floor of the subway car is awash in your blood. This is you. Make no mistake, that is a symbol, that is you. But this won't last long. They can't.
We don't have time to go over the whole clip, but yeah.
That's the truth. I can't stress this enough. It is not the fringe, gnarling, blue-haired, purple-haired, piercing people in some dingy basement that want you to have your life ended. Yes, they do, but it's your neighbor. It's the nurse. It's the pilot. It's the judge. And they feel morally righteous to do so, and they're not going to stop. They have been gaslit into believing that we are evil, that we are Nazis, that we are bigots, that we are racist, that we're every ism in the world, and they are justified on this crusade, the new civil rights movement. And all things are on the table. The ends will always justify the means. They do want you dead. And if you don't stand up and realize now, then it's going to be too late to do anything by the time that you realize it's time to start pushing back on this.
And remember the key here, ladies and gentlemen. Begin to separate from these people. Get them out of your life. Remove them away from you. Don't do business with them. You need to push them away from society, period. They're awful fucking human beings. And they're not going to stop. And it's very obvious that they're not going to stop. And we all know another thing that's true. And we got to stop pretending this too. We all are hoping that this will be the end of this series of events. Yeah, fucking right. This is going to be these people are now more emboldened than they've ever been. And if you think that this is the first or the last, you've got another thing coming. It's just the first in a very quick sequential series, I'm afraid. And I'm sure most of you do too. The thing is like keep yourself vigilant, because Sam Hyde's right. That is you.